Okay, we're recording. You're welcome to ask questions, but they may show up on the internet. I say may because I think I have a good track record. I think like 9 of the 10 videos I've shot have worked out, and 1 was a fail and we didn't use. So I realize there's a problem in the slides that I haven't said what a function prototype is. So here's the issue. If you have int main and you want to call a function like foo, the compiler, now compilers get increasingly smart, and I don't like they get increasingly smart because they're not consistently increasingly smart. So this may not work, but in the olden days, and I suspect also right now, the compiler is going to walk this function from top to bottom, and it will come and see main and say, well, main's supposed to call foo, and it will say, well, I don't know what foo is, and it will stop. And of course, you'd say, well, you know, compiler, gosh, just walk a few more lines down and you'll find it. Most compilers don't work that way. Let's see if this one does. So it says on line 6, it says there's an implicit declaration of function foo. And it was a warning. And then we got an error on line 10. What did I do wrong here? I don't see it. Aha. It saw this and it decided, you didn't tell me about foo, I'll roll with it. I'm just going to assume it exists, and it made its own notion of foo. And later, when it came back, when it found foo on line 10, it said, I found foo and I was assuming it would work one way, it didn't work the way I expected it to, you lose. Compile error. So if I were to take foo and put it up here and try again, that works. Because when the compiler has seen foo, then it knows what the definition of foo is, what the proper way to invoke foo is. Now, this creates a bad world because the bad world means that before you get to main, you have to know how foo is defined. And it turns out if you have a situation where maybe you have function A and it calls function B, and function B also might call function A, that's hard because which one do you put first? Whichever one you put first is a problem. So there's a solution to this. And the solution is the following, that you can do just this. I've said void foo semicolon, and that's called a function prototype. And this tells the compiler this is a function that will exist called foo. It takes no arguments, it returns no arguments. And if someone tries to call foo, that's cool because I've told you that's going to be a function that I will define later. So now if I go back and do this again, it compiled and I can run it and it was fine for me to put foo after main. Okay?